Hi, I'm Nate, and this is Photolearningism. Thank you for joining in for another session. I know we kind of changed the time up this time just to, fit it in for something else this evening. But here we are, and I just want to make sure that I stayed true to getting this done every week. So here we go. Let's jump into the work I planned for tonight. That's a good place to start, right? Let me hop on over. Okay, so we are continuing this idea of trying to do the human connection into nature. And another way I've seen people do that is they like to inject full portrait views of people into nature, so it gives you a sense of scale and also just a sense of depth. And I wanted to try that. This was really difficult by myself, especially because I don't have a remote yet. But I gave it a shot because I really wanted to try this out and see where it would take me. And this is where I am. So let's crack on to this one. This is me in the forest, alone. And I left the camera sitting on the ground for this one. I actually forgot to bring a tripod with me out there. So it's a little tilted. That'll be the first thing that we work on here. And let's get to it. I want to try to match horizons here a little bit. And then we'll straighten that up to fit. And I have to go a little bigger. Okay. And let's start by brightening things up a little bit because we're losing some of the magic of the moment here with colors. Okay. So just in case I forget to mention it later on, I do invite you to come follow me on my other social media. I am on Facebook /Photolearningism. I am on Twitter as Nate Ciraulo. I am on YouTube as Photolearningism. The best way to connect up with all these things, rather than try to remember that, is probably to go to my website, nateciraulo.com. You can connect to me to any of those social places from there, including this channel. And I do have some new project ideas actually centered around the website while I'm mentioning that, just to give some examples of the work that's out there and how that may be of use to anybody who happens to come upon this channel. I do offer my images in a stock library, and those are for sale. And that could be of benefit to your business or to your website or print ads, however you have needs. But I would like to be given some demonstrations and things on how that could be of use. So watch out for those in upcoming episodes. All right. Okay, already this is starting to look better because I can see myself popping out from the background. I was a little worried about that initially, but I like how that's resolving with some of the color adjustment that I'm doing here. Again, this was a self-portrait by myself, and if I could have videoed the process of setting the timer and running into position and waiting, straining to hear the click of when the picture actually took, I would have done that for you, but that's really tough to do solo. So perhaps as I become more developed, I'll be able to bring on an extra pair of hands, and maybe one of my boys who can give me a hand with that if they happen to be watching right now. Alright, I want to pop out just a bit more of color. And add a little refinement. Because that really starts to help you see. Okay. And then tighten it in. We don't care so much about the ground. Not to sound egocentric, but it's me I want you to see in this picture. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. Okay. All right. As a first pass at this, I'd say that's not bad. You can be the judge of that. You can comment on that as you like and let me know your thoughts, but from where I sit, at least as an initial exercise, I've never tried this before and doing all the pieces by myself, I'm happy with that. Do not want to save as a ping. Okay. We'll just call it what it is. After that manages to save somewhere. That was a little delayed. Okay. Alright. And then let's take it in the other directions. If you've been watching by now, you know that I like to mess around a little bit further once I've come to a happy place with color. Then I like to take the color away and see what else I can do with it. So let's do that. And I got a feeling that we'll get something pretty good out of this if I can manage to keep myself isolated, because that gets even trickier with something like this where there's a lot of similar shades and tones and you don't have contrast working so much in your favor. What I have to do is work to keep the shadows around my coat but not undefine them, if I can use that word, if that is a word, so much that I disappear. And that's about where it needs to be. There we go. Okay, and back that off. That actually helps me see that a little better. Try that out. Okay, so as an initial test, there's that one. And I wanted to take this one step further, because I can't help myself, and try this with a macro version of it. And you may be wondering how exactly I attempted a macro with this kind of a shot, and here we go. Let's see how it came out. Because the idea I had is there was this tuft of grass. You may have noticed some of them in the shot there. And I really just wanted to know what I looked like kind of sprouting out of one of them. So there we go. Let's go to work. I don't really notice anything happening there. That's interesting. Let's try an additive here. There we go. Now this could be either really amazing or just something else that is a learning experience. Let's see. I honestly wasn't sure what to expect from this. Okay, and now we have to figure out if I can... Yeah, we're gonna have to do that with vignette, I think. Because I don't want the grass to be much of what you see again. Or at least, I don't want that to be all you see. It has possibilities because the picture has potential to tell you a story such that when you look at it, the first thing you see is the grass, and that's okay, but I want you to see beyond that. And that's why I think we need just a little bit of darkness, a little bit of vignette to rein that in some. And not a lot, like... There. Because I really want you to wonder at first what you're seeing and then be able to resolve that. And I'm asking myself right now, if I did not know that that was me standing behind there, would somebody else be able to figure that out? Well, if you happen to see this, let me know. Leave a comment and give me your honest impression if you can tell what that is, or if you even see the background there. And I'll be curious for some feedback, and that would be very helpful for my learning process. Let's see if there's another way to maybe draw that out some. The more I can accentuate the color of it, that gives some clues. Let's try that. All right. It's more or less the vision I had in mind when I took this picture, but yeah, again, I wasn't expecting that to be so blurred that if you didn't know it was there, you'd find it. Well, let's see. Let me know what you think. I'll let you be the judge of whether or not that was a successful experiment or not. And honestly, if it's a failure, then it is, but at least at least we found whether or not it works. Try another idea if it's not gonna fly. But the point being that if this is like totally off the mark, I won't be offended to know that. So long as you're polite with your comments. And knowing that I may hold it against you forever. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, Raisin Knight, how are you? Thanks for stopping in. This is going to be even trickier. It's really hard to tell. I didn't realize how hard on myself I was making this by doing that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for being available, by the way. Really appreciate that. And you're probably the only one right now who knows why I'm on early tonight. I wonder if that helps. So I don't know how much you've seen their Raisin Night, but I'm really curious. When you see this picture, does anything pop out at you? And I won't say what, because I don't want to kind of spoil the discovery process if there is one. But I'm curious if there's if you see anything in that picture. Anything other than the grass. And to be fair, what I should probably do is save this and then roll back to the other version so you have a baseline to begin with. Here. So I'll leave that up for a few seconds. Oh, okay. Good. Awesome. Well, then I haven't completely failed on this concept. Okay, thank you. That makes me feel better somewhat. Yeah, the idea was to take kind of put somebody in a picture with macro to kind of define some scale, but also kind of play a little bit with the perception of depth. That's too much. Yeah, I think so too. I'm not really sure that black and white and sepia is doing any favors on this one, so I may give up on this one. It just loses too much without the color. There's not enough contrast. So this will probably be one of the few ones that stays in color. I agree. All right. Let's move on to something else here. Look through the selection of things that took place during that same day. There was a little bit of snow on the ground that day. That was like the snow that lasted just a few hours. Yeah, I think so too. More leaves on the water. Let's look at one of these, because we just got through Christmas and I really didn't do anything for Christmas in terms of pictures, so let's have a look at some of these. Let's just see which one I want to tap into first. That one's interesting. Alright, so 170. Let's go with that one. So the more I play around with taking pictures out in nature, I've mentioned this before, but I'm just starting to realize that the kinds of composures you may be looking for, it's not necessarily going to be waiting around for you to find it. Like this, for example, what I actually had to go is wrestle with this berry bush. I don't even know what kind of berry bush it is. I hope it's not poisonous. But I had to wrestle to get a branch off and then put it on top of a snowy fallen tree just to kind of get what I was after. And sometimes, you know, the one in a million times, you may actually find it all put together perfectly and it looks beautiful and you take a picture of it. But I'm finding more and more is that you as the artist, photographer, you got to make it happen. You got to put the pieces together, assemble the colors, and kind of have a vision for what you're after. It's just like if you're going to sketch something and you're going to assemble it, you really got to do the homework of trying to see what that's going to look like and maybe doing a couple of test shots, test sketches, and see if it's going in a good direction. You saw I took a couple of ones there. But it's the same thing with pictures. It's not just where you go find things. You actually have to assemble a shot most of the time. Let's get to some details. Don't do too much, then I start blowing it out. That's getting there, yeah. Ha. Should just be 2 seconds here. There we go. It's one of those many things that you just don't expect to have happen in the background, so welcome to real life. Phone starts ringing. That's okay. Anyway, where was I? The other advantage of doing this later is that that's less likely to happen, and it actually hasn't happened, so it just never occurred to me that something that might come up. I don't know. I digress. Hey, Stuart, good to see you again. Thanks for coming back. I checked out those other things you mentioned, by the way, those other 2 software programs. I'm going to keep digging into them, maybe try out a trial. But I did have a look. Thank you for pointing those out to me. The DxO and is it the Capture One, I think? Trying out something that was sort of along the lines of the December Christmassy theme here. Put more of the black on the top there because we got details. There it is. All right. Okay, that's good to know. Thanks, Stuart. I wonder if they have a newsletter I can sign up for. I'll check that out. Now this one I'm really curious what happens. Yeah. So we have the white and we have the dark, so that's working for us on this one. Don't want to do it too much. Do gotta say though that I missed the bright red. It's almost like it needs to intensify the dark to make it worthwhile to have a black and white anyway. Because that's how I feel about it. Then if that happens, then we start losing things. That's the downside of that. Yeah. Another one I think that does better in color raising night. Because that was kind of the thinking behind this anyway. You really get the boldness of the red, so yeah. Anyways, sometimes one of those things that you gotta see it to figure out exactly if it's gonna work or not, so. Color definitely works very well. I love the brilliance of it. Alright. I'm gonna try to throw in one more quick one. We had an early show today, and I gotta head out because there's something going on this evening, but I really wanted to fit this in today because I was very excited to get to some of these pictures, having taken them this week. And maybe this is a little obligatory, I don't know, but I was in the moment and I figured I'd take one, so I wanted to take a stump shot. Yeah, I think so, Raisin Knight. I like the angle of this one. I wanted to see if we can pick something out of it. So let's give it a shot really quick. Or at least get a start on it. Okay. Shrink that in a little bit here. Yeah, there's some potential because there's a little bit of differing colors in here. So let's get to it. Let's see if we can pull it out. Oh yeah? Studio or out in the free world? That's got a good range, so you can get them pretty close with that. Not as much as a telephoto, but it's wider than the average lens. Oh, nice. Congratulations. There we go. I'm already starting to see some of these things pop out, which is very satisfying. Don't overdo it though. Now, I have not personally counted the rings on this tree, by the way. My wife asked me that. But, so I don't have any idea how old this tree was before somebody decided to end its life. But if you really want to, you're welcome to see the picture after I've put it up and count it up, if that sort of thing interests you. Oh, thanks, True. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. Alright, I already did that. I want to do... Yeah. Back it off just a bit, and we want to center up around over here. Tighten it in even just a little bit more maybe. There. Yep. I think it'll work as a background, something. I could say some good potential for that. Alright. All right. That is about the furthest I can go for the moment, because I did have something else I had to head to this evening. That's hence the early show. But thank you guys so much for coming out and chatting. Raisin Night Stewart, it was really great to have the company again and to share the experience. And especially thanks for the feedback. That really helps me because I can only see what I can see, and it's great when other people are looking on and giving me their impressions of it. That really helps me as an artist. So I'll just say it for the sake of the video. Welcome to come visit me at my site, nateciraulo.com. I'll throw that in the chat window here. You can connect to me from social media, a number of venues through that site, and please do that. We can stay connected and we can exchange stuff there. And I wish you a pleasant evening, a pleasant weekend. Thank you so much for joining. Take care.